afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the NUTS series, NetUtils Talks Security. My name is Malcolm Orekoya. I'm the CTO at NetUtils, and I am joined by JP from our security partner, SKOUT.
Hey, Malcolm.
Hi, JP. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks very much for having us on. I'm not sure who's going to get credited for making up the acronym NUTS. It's brilliant. We love the idea, love to be part of it. So thanks very much for having us on.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So we're going to have a short 15-20 minute session where JP and I are just going to have a conversation style series where we talk about various important things in the industry. Firstly, I'll give an introduction, a brief introduction of NetUtils. JP will do the same for SKOUT, and then we'll get into it. So NetUtils are a cybersecurity specialist. We're a systems integrator that's been around for over 27 years. We focus on enterprise, small, medium, and large, as well as service provider customers. And we partner with top vendors and security specialists globally. And I'll hand over to you, JP, as well, to do a brief introduction.
Yeah, thanks, Malcolm. JP Kehoe is my name. I run the business here in Europe for SKOUT Cyber Security. And I suppose, Malcolm, you know, why we're in business is exactly some of the things we're going to speak about. So we were probably born out of a risk management business 10 years ago. And there's some fundamental reasons why the business started, and they ring through today. And number one, cyber has always been seen as a difficult problem to solve that's expensive. So we've always been trying to make it easy and affordable. But I think the other key thing, Malcolm, and you and I talk about this all the time, there's this tremendous lack of talent, and the problem's only getting worse. And I know a lot of people talk about that, but some people don't even know what that might mean. And it's interesting. We were chatting last week about this same topic, and even today there's 4 million open cyber security positions, and the difficulty is that doesn't mean every person looking for a cyber security job will get one. There's a little bit more nuanced than that, and you'll see, like Malcolm, and you'll be able to speak to it in terms of you know, general IT professionals. But when we look in our space and you think about experienced cybersecurity personnel, it's actually, the need has exceeded the number of people that actually exist. So when you think about it, and maybe from a simplicity perspective, you know, let's say there's 10,000 cybersecurity professionals in the UK 10 years ago. And now let's say there's 20,000 organizations that need someone with at least 10 years cybersecurity positions cybersecurity expertise. So it's actually mathematically possible and the gap gets wider. So that trend is going to continue, and you know, that's probably one of the key problems out there for companies you know, that might be tuning in today. So small to medium businesses particularly. But you know, that's our lens on it, Malcolm. I'm not sure from your standpoint where you see like that skills gap over the last number of years where it's impacted you and your customers.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, and one of the key things as well to keep in mind is the cybersecurity landscape has progressed so quickly as well that 10-year skill that's required isn't for something that's a fixed point. So it's not a skill set that's the same in you know, 2011 as it is in 2021. The skill set actually 2 years ago is probably slightly different to what's required now. So 2019, 2018 to 2021 is actually very different. So that 10-year experience is actually can become somewhat irrelevant. So you need skill sets that are probably 2, 3 to 5 years. And we're seeing that as a big problem with our customers. They're having to embrace the latest in the cybersecurity industry because, you know, they're required to move with the times, they're required to be compliant, etc. But that skill set, or engineering and analyst skill set of, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years is very, very scarce in the industry. So From our perspective, obviously, as a MSSP, that is basically our bread and butter, i.e. to make sure that we keep our engineers, we try and skill them up and keep them abreast of all of the latest and greatest things that are happening in the industry. And that's also difficult for us. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's part of our job, so we have to do it anyway. So we're always proactive as opposed to reactive to that skill set gap in the industry. And we have to keep looking to make sure that we're proactively getting our engineers skilled up to date with the latest and not being left behind, which it's happened in the past. We're a business that's been around for a very long time. Anyone that's been around 25 years in the industry will understand that that can happen. You can get left behind very, very quickly.
It's a really, really good point, well made. And you know, the pace of change is not staying linear. It's getting quicker when you think about cloud adoption and, you know, some of the trends that I guess COVID has accelerated for sure over the last 12 months. But, you know, and I guess that's where we come in and we partner with network utilities on all of this piece. But I think from a small to medium business perspective, what we're seeing anyway, Malcolm, is like cybersecurity is becoming its own risk management bucket. It's a boardroom problem. It's it's number one and top of mind for all businesses out there, but particularly small to medium businesses where they can't access that talent, they can't keep, and that's why I guess partnerships with companies like network utilities are key. But we have a security operating center, Malcolm, as you know, and we were speaking with the guys there last month. They were doing a review, and they certainly could see the tempo of incidents has increased. There's something like 500% increase in things like ransomware when compared to this time last year. So the tempo has increased. The complexity is, obviously made it more difficult to solve this problem. I'm interested on your side, when you, I mean, across your own customer base, what are you seeing in terms of that tempo, that increase of incidents? What type of incidents? How can what's affecting businesses today?
Yeah, I mean, we've 100% seen a reflection of that tempo increase over the last 12 months, as you said, with the C19 situation over the last 12 months or so. I mean, we've had several conversations with existing customers and just prospects that maybe we've engaged with in the past or just know about us in the industry, to deal with things from a reactive point of view, which is obviously never good when you're in that position that you have to be reacting to something, to an incident. But we've had several people come to us to actually help deal with incident response because they're in a particular situation. And we've also had people over the last 12, 15 months or so try to start being reactive and proactive rather, not reactive, because they're seeing an increase in that tempo, the amount of phishing emails just alone. And statistically, phishing emails are actually the number one method of coming in, and then the purpose being getting credentials. And then once the credentials are achieved, then they move on to other things. But those two are closely correlated: phishing emails, credential theft, and then onto other things in the network. So we're definitely seeing we're seeing that in the industry, basically, that tempo, both reactively, and our customers, they're having to look out to people that can provide that skill set, where they don't have to hire new staff or train new staff or keep them up to date with everything that's going on. So we're definitely
we love doing these. I've been on these sort of forums because it shares experiences, shares learning. It'll be self-serving for you to mention this, so I'm going to just say it. For network utilities, and what we like about you guys and other MSPs for sure in the space, you're bringing your customers on that roadmap. And as you just highlighted, some of the key aspects today, things like business email compromise. But I think what we're seeing from a customer's perspective, it's now more than now than ever important to have a partner that'll bring you on that journey, because the tempo has increased and it's difficult now. As I said, with the skills shortage, Malcolm, and we talk about this all the time, it's actually going to get more difficult. So I think the word partnership is more important. It's important for us because we need, good companies like network utilities to solve problems. It's important for the end customer to have partners like yourself, but equally, it's a two-way street, because it's like a shared responsibility model for us all. The problem is bigger than us together. And exactly, yeah. So again, love having these conversations. I know that over the next number of series here on the NUTS Network Utilities Talks Cyber Security program, we'd love to go a little bit more detail, Malcolm, if it was okay, around, I know we can give live demonstrations on how customers get affected, but
absolutely. And just to piggyback on what you said there about collaboration and partnerships, that is one thing that's hugely changed, not just in the last 12 months, I would say probably in the last 2-3 years, not just for our customers needing that partnership with the right MSP or the right partner, but also for people that are seen as competing with each other. So, for example, system integrators and other system integrators, or vendors like SKOUT and other vendors in the same space. There's actually a lot of partnering and collaboration between those so-called competitors now, because everyone has to, or slowly I think are realizing that they have to leverage their individual skill sets. Now, NetUtils, for example, we've been around 27 years, but we have some very, very unique expertise. Now, we might have a broad spectrum of skills, but certain skills within that are our specialty, basically. So it makes sense for someone else to come to us to leverage that expertise, and vice versa. It makes sense for us to go to someone else that has a different expertise in something and leverage their skill sets, and that works across all the different areas. So for us as the systems partner, for the vendors as well, and for the customer. So again, customers not putting all the eggs in one basket, but partnering with different people for their specific expertise.
Yeah, that's super. Look, thank you again, Malcolm, for having us on. We're very proud to be on this, the first episode of the NUT series. So many thanks again.
Yeah, no problem at all, JP. It's nice, short and sweet. It's very conversational. We're going to be talking, NetUtils are going to be talking security and diving in to different specific bits over the coming episodes. We have an option on our website for you to actually give us a suggestion on other topics that you want us to talk about. That could be with JP and SKOUT or other partners within our space. And just try and provide you guys with as much neutral information as possible from an education point of view and awareness point of view. So hopefully it's been useful just to hear a couple of guys talking about what's going on in the industry and how we're seeing things from different aspects. And hopefully you'll join us next time on the next episode of NUTS. And thank you, JP, very much again for joining me, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take care.